Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the second video in my How to Write the Paid Pitch series. I remember getting my first brand deal. I had maybe about 2,000 followers. It really wasn't that much. Let me guess, you don't believe that you could get noticed by any companies right now, right? And let me guess why. Your following is too small, right? So many bloggers and influencers feel like they have to have really large followings in order to get noticed by brands. And this is not true. I've been on programs and campaigns that had multiple bloggers and influencers as a part of it. And there were other people on there who did not have big followings. And if they were on there, obviously they got noticed, right? Now listen, I understand that it is much easier to get noticed by a brand when you do have a large following. But I want to share with you the 3 things that got me noticed by brands when I had a small following. And once you learn these things and you begin pitching brands and putting you on their radar, they won't just skim over your pitch. They'll actually pay attention. And don't worry yourself about whether you know how to pitch or not. I'm working on a program called The Paid Pitch that I'm gonna teach you exactly how to pitch to get paid. Now, why am I even qualified to talk about this? Well, first and foremost, I am Jenell Stewart. I am a 3-time award-winning editor. I've been a natural hair and beauty blogger for over 9 years, and I've been a wellness, lifestyle, and mommy blogger for about 6. During this time, I've been featured on the Dr. Oz show. I've been interviewed by countless outlets. I've presented at countless events around the world. And today, I'm a highly sought out influencer. I've pitched and worked with hundreds of brands. To name a few, I've worked with Nissan, I've worked with Amazon 3 times, I've worked with Expedia, Progressive Insurance, Bounty, Clorox, Shea Moisture, JCPenney, Samsung, and many, many, many more. I started out making absolutely no money blogging, and I now make multiple 6 figures doing it every single year. My social reach exceeds 1 million across all of my brands, but before all of this, I was just regular old Jenell living in Brooklyn. I shared in my previous video called The 3 Things I Learned Never to Do When Pitching a Brand was my story of how after I had my first child, I was very depressed going to work every day and having to leave my baby home. I immediately began coming up with the plan of how I could stay at home with my baby, but also work and make money. So I began planning to quit my job. And in that video, I explained my plans to make an income by working with brands. I also share how I was getting nowhere really fast, wasn't getting any responses, and ultimately wasn't making any money. But I learned a lot from my rejections. I learned a lot from not getting any email reply. And I shared what I learned with you in that video so that you could pitch to get paid and not have to go through what I went through. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it below. So continuing on with that story, I began pitching brands, and like I said, I had about 2,000 followers. I didn't have a large following, but you know what? I didn't let that hold me back. There were so many bloggers and YouTubers and influencers working with brands that I just felt like I should be able to too. So I began pitching and not worrying about the followers that I didn't have because I was focused on making the money that I didn't have. I understand how it feels to have a small following. Listen, we all start out with 0, okay? I also understand how it feels to spend a lot of time trying to build your brand and not making any money from it. I was on YouTube and blogging for years and didn't make any real money. And I also understand how frustrating it is to watch others around you land brand deals again and again and again, and you can't even get one. And for those of you who actually have a decent sized following, I understand how it feels to have a decent sized following and getting brand deals, but not knowing how to actually get paid from them. Or when I did get paid, I didn't know how to negotiate for a better rate. And worse, I remember having a decent sized following, and there would be times when I would get paid a good rate, but I didn't know how to repeat that to get another brand deal and another one to offer the same or at all. But what if I could teach you to get noticed by brands so that when you begin pitching them, they don't just skim over you. They actually reply. It's a lot easier to get noticed by brands than you may think. And it isn't just about followers. I notice a lot of smaller bloggers and influencers assume all big bloggers are getting approached by brands for work. That is not true. I have a lot of blog friends who have decent sized followings, 30s, 40s, and they don't get brand deals, and they are frustrated. They reach out to me asking me for advice, and I do my best to mentor them. And usually pretty quickly after I mentor someone, they're able to get brand deals and they have no problem keeping that up. So what am I doing that keeps brands coming to me and responding to my pitches? The first thing is my personality. To be frank, a lot of people are boring. And because Instagram and blogs don't allow for people to see your personality in real time or even, recorded time like a YouTube video, people can only get your personality from the images you share and from the copy that you write in your captions. So what you want to do is make sure you're sharing your personality and being the person that you are. Not everyone's going to be bubbly. Not everyone's going to be super, super exciting. But a brand and your audience should be able to gauge your personality through your work. Whenever brands would reach out to me, even though I had a small following, one of the things that they would always say to me was, "You have an amazing personality." Now, here's a brand that wasn't checking for me. They didn't know anything about me, but once I pitched them and they went and began looking into who I was, they noticed that my personality was one that they enjoyed and that they liked, and most likely aligned with the type of person that the brand would want to work with. The second thing that brands would often say to me when they replied to my pitches was, I was very knowledgeable. Now, when I was talking about natural hair and beauty topics, I did my research. I didn't just begin speaking out of nowhere, talking about things I had no idea about or saying a lot of nothing. And I know you know what I mean when people are just saying a lot of nothing. Instead, I would read a lot of blogs in order to do research. I would also do a lot of studying on YouTube by watching as many videos as I could. And I would also do my own self-research by testing things out on me. So when I would talk about a hair product or teach someone how to style their hair or care for it in a tutorial, I could speak confidently from a place of experience because I had done so much studying and an investigation and research and self-testing that I could speak confidently because I was confident. And the third thing that brands would say to me after I sent them a pitch was that they appreciated how authentic I was. Authenticity will get you far. A lot of people often feel like if you want to work with brands, you can't necessarily say anything bad about the brand. And that's kind of true, and it's also kind of not true. Look at it this way. Would you like if someone told you something about yourself in a way that was mean-spirited, negative, rude, obnoxious? No, you wouldn't. But what if someone told you something about yourself in a way that was constructive? We've heard of constructive criticism, haven't we? And that's the difference between what I would do and what other people would do. Is if I was talking, let's say, about a hair product that I was using, and let's say it didn't work for me and I really didn't like the results and I didn't like how my hair felt, I didn't like how my hair looked, I didn't like how the product smelled. Let's say it was all of those things. Instead of saying the product was crap, it smelled like trash, it didn't do good for my hair, the product was canceled, the brand was going to be canceled, and dragging them online in my YouTube video or on my blog or on social media, instead I would offer constructive criticism. If the product wasn't moisturizing enough, I would say something like this. Based on the ingredients, they did use good ingredients. However, after about one day, I noticed that my hair was drying out. And there are many other products that I've used in the past that I can get 3 days of moisture, requiring me to have to re-moisturize my hair with the product less often. Do you see the difference? I'm telling everyone that I didn't like the product, but I'm saying it in a way that is fair and polite. And I'm still being authentic and I'm still being honest. So those are the 3 things that got me noticed by brands when I had a small following. And regardless of what your niche is, I know you can absolutely begin implementing those 3 things immediately. On Friday, I'm hosting a free coaching called How to Write the Paid Pitch, no matter how small your following is. I'm going to share 3 transformational beliefs that you must have in order to land brand deals. And I'll also be sharing the details on the Paid Pitch course that I'm making for you to get paid to pitch. On Friday, I'm going to host 2 live coaching sessions. So one will be in the daytime at 12 noon Eastern, and the other will be later in the evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. Space is limited at both coaching sessions, so please arrive on time to make sure that the webinar system will allow you in. I've included the links for the coaching below, and I hope to see you there.